I'm not gonna mention in the video, but I should.
You should.
This is take 2. He didn't record the first one.
Alright. Yo, what's up? This is the Gorilla Clown. Coming to you from a place you don't know, and I'm not gonna tell you, and we're definitely 100% not alive.
Hey guys, welcome to UNbrainwashing America. Today is the day where you get some knowledge, you get some cool discussions. We have some great topics for you today. We're going to jump in straight into the business topic. Anything you want to say about it before I kick that off?
Yeah, as far as business goes, I suck at running a business. So don't listen to a damn thing I got to say about running a business. Listen to this, man.
So a little bit about me. I've started my first business when I was 17. I'm currently 26. I've pretty much been self-employed the whole time. I had taken a couple corporate jobs here and there, but I've been 100% self-employed for almost 5 years. So that's just a little bit of my background. But I want to talk about a couple things. One, I want to talk about customer service. I want to talk about consistent, persistent action. And I want to talk about the compound effect. I'm going to jump straight into customer service. Every business customer service is a must. Any new hire, any current employees, you have to have that talk with them. It will set you apart. Look at Amazon, for example. That's like their number one motto is customer service, customer service, customer service. They'll shove it down your throat. I wish Walmart would get that in their head, but let's not talk about them. But yeah, customer service will let you set you apart. It will help you create a standard that will allow you to retain customers, and it will allow you to get good reviews and retention. Then I'm going to jump into consistent, persistent action. Any business, it took consistency over time. I call it a 90-day core run. For 90 days, you do something every day that focuses on your business. Business is not linear. It's ongoing. And linear is trading time for dollars. Ongoing is having a bunch of resources that are constantly adding value to it. For an example, when you own your business, you're not only trading your time, but you're trading your information, you're trading your resources, you're trading your connections and your network, which all brings value to your business. And then going into the last part of that, we're going to talk about the compound effect. I use the principle if you took a penny every day and doubled the sum of it for 30 days, about $10 million. But you should do it in everything. You know, just like if you brush your teeth for a long period of time, your teeth get healthier and stronger. If you work out for a long period of time, you generally get healthier and you get in shape. So I tell people, you know, when you first start out a business, or if you've been in business for 20 years or 100 years, whatever, you know, have that consistency behind it, but add a little bit every day. Whoever you're associating with, have them add a little bit of value every day. And eventually, if you took the sum of 100 people and they added 10% work ethic to it, you're going to get a greater sum than if you just added yourself 100%. We're going to get in the next topic.
Oh, hold on. Before you get to the next topic, let me add to the way to get to owning your own business. Is a great way to get to owning your own business is working super hard. I've grown up with the worst work ethic you could imagine. I'd go to work. If you paid me $5 an hour, I'd give you $5 worth of work, which always got me paid and always gave me a job, but it never gave me the leg up on anybody in a job. For instance, if everything went wrong in the job, nobody came to me for help. Nobody came to me for advice or any of those instances. But I met a person. This person was very influential in my life, and I watched how she worked. She went to work, and if you paid her $5 an hour, she worked like she was getting paid $1 million an hour. And what this did for her is it not only made her the number one most reliable person in her office, it got her to the very top of her position within a year. And I guarantee you, eventually, she's going to be able to run and own her own business because the people are going to see how hard she works. They're going to trust her, and there's going to want to be people that are going to want to work behind her because they're going to see that she's willing to go the extra mile to get the job done. And that attitude will always get you a great opportunity. I don't know what you're going to do with your money when you get paid, but if you save that money and you work hard to get to another position, that will be the exact work ethic that you're going to need to have whenever you run your own business, or to even get to run your own business. Because if you're like me and you started living your life the way that I've lived my life for the first 29, 30 years of my life, where I just had the worst work ethic that you could imagine. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with all this wave and getting your East LA. You know, have you seen Born in East LA where he's like...
No, I moved, and when I moved, the couch party, so I was waving.
Yeah, it's like the jiu-jitsu mats were always laughing at people when their backs rubbing it.
Yeah. Your couch is queefing, bro.
Yeah, no, but for instance, if you want to go to work every day and you go to work and you bust your ass and you become the hardest working person in your job, I guarantee you within a month, 2 months, 3 months, you're not going to be able to look back at yourself and have any regrets. You're going to be able to look back, and if the people that you're surrounded by don't appreciate that, then move on and go somewhere else till you are appreciated. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and let Andrew move on to the next topic.
We're going to talk about legalizing weed, state and federally. What are your thoughts on marijuana becoming legalized?
I 100% believe that marijuana should be illegal. People that use marijuana are idiots. I don't believe that you should smoke marijuana at all.
I think you're full of shit, John.
100%. I partake in the industry.
What are you trying to say? He's a hypocrite. He wants to smoke, but you can't smoke. I'm just joking.
No, you smoke all you want. I believe that you should be entitled to your own. I believe that as a human being or somebody that lives inside the United States, the government shouldn't have that type of control over my life where they're telling me I can't partake in smoking marijuana when it's really irrelevant. There's a lot of people in jails and prisons all over the United States that are incarcerated because of these crimes, and that's part of the problem. That's part of the problem with legalizing as well as in each state you have all these people that are incarcerated for a crime that you're about to make legal. You're gonna have to take all these uncarcerate. You're gonna have to take all these people from prison and set them free on the crimes that they are committing are no longer a legal act. So there's a whole lot of loopholes, but I believe that marijuana will, and eventually within all 50 states, be state legal, federally illegal. I don't know how long that's going to take for that to happen, but I believe that it will eventually happen.
Right.
And I think that you should, like I said, everybody should be able to at a reasonable age, and as long as you are a human being that can do this. If you're a complete, and I'm gonna say this with the utmost respect, if you're a complete loser, you're sitting on your mom's couch doing nothing all day, you have no ambition in life, marijuana is only gonna make you less ambitious. You're gonna be less ambitious. You're gonna have way more of that less ambition than you're gonna have ambition. So
right.
If you're a marijuana smoker and you're ambitious, then of course you're gonna be way more ambitious. You're not gonna be less ambitious just because you're smoking. Just because you're getting high every day, no matter what, you're smoking dabs, these vape pens, whatever it is, you're still going. Yeah, if you're doing that ridiculous gesture that people call a dance, not doing that if you're, you know what I'm talking about. Let's move on. What do you think about that?
I personally don't care if people smoke. I mean, currently I'm not smoking, but I do enjoy engaging and partaking. I also think it'll bring a lot of tax revenue. I read an article earlier said it will bring about $129 billion in taxes. Now, we all know if we generate $129 billion in taxes, the government will make 90% of it disappear. We'll get about 10%. They might lose in the Pentagon or whatever.
It's 10% more than we had before, though.
Yeah, true. And then they're talking about adding 1.6 million jobs. I think that's fantastic. I mean, I think we have a low unemployment now. But we definitely could use some more jobs and create some competition.
I wonder what kind of, think about the jobs that you're creating. Or is it going to be like you're going cultivating and you're trimming down buds, getting all the leaves outside the buds?
I'd be a bartista, bro. I'd just be have a little tip jar and be like, hey, what bud would you like today? Would you like to try, Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
I mean the jobs that they're creating for the average. Because if you have an industrial type job and you go to and you say you're running a farm, a marijuana farm, and you go get a job there, how many people are not going to quit their job working at the chicken factory to go work at the marijuana factory?
I mean, they might. I
feel like that would be one of the highest demand jobs.
If somebody worked at McDonald's, they'd probably hop ship real quick.
Yeah,
I can smoke weed and grow.
There's literally no. Botanists will probably have a leg up on a lot of people, but there's really going to be no low criteria. I mean, you're going to learn how to cut leaves off bud. You're gonna. I mean, obviously, you're not going to go into the industry and be the botanist, but you're going to eat. The lower end jobs are way less qualifying for you to have any kind of school degree in any way. I believe the person with the biggest mental challenge would be able to excel at a job. So in that instance, you can maybe provide jobs for people that are handicapped in way more instances because you don't have to have the physical ability to do a lot of things doing.
Speaking of smoking, I want to smoke what the dude from The Simpsons is smoking, man. That dude's predicting all sorts of stuff. I'm going to let you hop into that.
Yeah, The Simpsons creator, along with the people that are writing for The Simpsons, like Conan O'Brien, whoever else is writing for The Simpsons, those people have done a very good job of laying out some predictions within the future. It's like the Cubs winning the World Series, I believe. They have also Donald Trump's prediction of, and they had a very good prediction of Donald Trump where he's going down the escalator exactly how he went down.
They predicted Greta.
They predicted a very, very good scenario with Lisa Simpson. She was the Greta, basically, in the future of the Simpsons, and our present and their past. She was playing I don't know the full name, but the crazy little kid that I believe that the I don't even know who the people that run the world, they got her to kind of manipulate a whole lot of young people, because you have a whole lot of old people these days giving their advice on how global warming is, but to manipulate a child, you really need someone to relate to a child and be able to relate to a child. And I believe that was their way of getting somebody that could relate to a child, because if you can impressionate a mind of a young person, they're going to grow with that, and they're going to build on that as a child rather than starting as an adult. Because once you become an adult, you can make up your own mind, you can really have your own avenue for research and doing all these things, so it's a lot more difficult to manipulate you than it would be a child. And not to go into global warming isn't a real thing, I just mean as far as the manipulation of global warming, making it an asset for people to, when you go to vote, they're going to use global warming against Donald Trump. The Democrats or liberals were saying that he's not for global warming, and that goes to just because he's not going to come out and be like, I do care for global warming. He's just going to be like, y'all say whatever y'all want, because he's too cocky.
Hold on, let me pause this, blow my nose. Hold on. I'm about to draw all over the place.
We're on a take 10-2, 10-2.
I was trying my hardest not to.
Yeah, no, you good.
Good cutscene. Take 87.
Take 2, for real.
All right.
Just go ahead and start talking.
I think he's definitely above his time. I wouldn't say, he's from the future or not. I mean, he might be. If you're from the future, bro, and you figure that out, share it with everybody, dude. Like, just share. I say be socialist in that manner, okay? Yeah, I mean, I think it's cool what The Simpsons has done. It's definitely a great animated series.
It's lasted long. It's lasted long. But let me answer your question real quick. As far if I think that he was really from the future, to be honest with you, I don't know, because we as humans have the ability to choose our own path, and to create a future within a reality that we live in would mean that our information that we have is pre-predicted, or it's data that's being fed to us from somewhere else. And I don't believe that. I believe that we constantly are able to make our own choices. So for a human being able to travel in the future would be, you'd have to get 5-6 billion people's future created within a path that's not even created yet. So you'd have to create 5-6 million people to have made choices that they haven't even made the ability to make a choice. So you can go to a presumed future, but I don't believe that you'd go to the actual future that we could live in or that we would know, because the actions can constantly be changed. People can constantly make their own decisions and where they're going. So an actual known future would have to be pre-fed data, or information that would be the information would have to be fed to us, because then that means that we wouldn't have our own decisions to be made. With our own decisions being made, there's no way that we can create a possible future or a scenario in the future, because we have no idea where anybody's going tomorrow, what anybody's doing tomorrow. So as far as the future goes, I don't know if he's from the future, but he's just like Nostradamus, he's making some very great predictions on how our future's gone. Nostradamus made a lot of great predictions, but he also made a lot of incorrect. If you take incorrect predictions, if you take The Simpsons, for instance, The Simpsons ran for 25 years or so forth, so I'm sure that there's a lot of things that they've done that aren't necessarily the future that we live in today, but there are some that are very good. So, I mean, it is give or take. Maybe there's a lot of different scenarios where other people have created or predicted, and I believe there are other people that have similar scenarios within The Simpsons as far as the way that they've predicted the future.
Right.
And I don't even know what they are right off the top of my head, but I'm sure there are other people.
Yeah, I would assume
TV shows that
others.
have done very, just not as popular as The Simpsons. That's for sure.
Well, let's get you to jump into the next topic.
The next topic, we were going to go into the next topic. Before we go into the next topic, we're going to play a game called Would You Rather. And the first topic of Would You Rather is, would you rather, and this is his idea. This is our second take. I'm just reintroducing it because I fucked up and didn't record the first episode.
You didn't record the episode.
I don't know how in the fuck we talked here for like an hour bullshitting about.
We had
nothing.
a great time too.
We had a great time, but anyway, we're gonna do Would You Rather, and the first topic of Would You Rather that I'm gonna present, because he threw it on me last time, and I don't even remember what my topic was, but would you rather? Because I know.
Go ahead. Just go ahead.
Would you rather live in the 80s or 90s?
I definitely would say the 80s. I was born in the 90s. I was born in 93. And I think I missed out on a lot of things.
Right, yeah, I was born in 79. Wow.
Man, Grandpa.
Yeah,
Hey, go get his cane, please. We're going to have to get him.
I just turned 40 this year. I gotta start going to the doctor. Is what I'm told.
What he's saying is he's about to get a colonoscopy.
Nah, I am old, though. I wear glasses, as you'll never, hopefully, ever have to see.
All right. I'm not going to do what I did last time. Last time I asked him, would he rather have $10,000 and eat dog shit, or rather have a gorilla that took laxative shit on his chest? I'm not going to ask him that one. He didn't really answer it.
I couldn't answer it.
Would you rather be poor and happy?
Yeah. No matter what your other answer is, I'd rather be poor and happy.
Dang. I was going to say have $1 million and just be casual.
No, I'd rather be poor and happy. Money's not going to make me. Money is, I guarantee you, ask the richest person in the world, or people that had no money and then all of a sudden they got money. The money didn't make them more happy. The money's going to provide you a lifestyle that you choose to live and you want to live. But the more money you have, the more money you spend, the more bills you have, the more everything that goes around with it. If you're poor, you have no bills. And
I would rather cry in my Ferrari than in my box outside, okay?
I personally could live in a box. I have children. I raised 2 children, so there's no way that I could live. And on top of that, I like dating women, and living in a box, no woman wants to date a guy that lives in a box.
So you would rather take the money?
I would rather be poor and happy if I had the 2 choices, but nobody's gonna deny having millions and millions of dollars. Like one of my main goals is to provide a better lifestyle for my children right now, and that comes with gaining and achieving more money.
Right.
So yeah,
what's your question?
I definitely would prefer to have money, but I don't mind being poor and happy. My next question is, would you rather find out about the 9/11 conspiracy? Like, would you rather find out the full details, have all the information about the 9/11 conspiracy, or would you rather find out the JFK conspiracy, all the details and all the answers?
I'd probably say JFK, because a lot of the conspiracy theories probably tie into each other. 9/11, if it was done by America or whoever they say it's done outside of, the terrorists in the Middle East, I would say it probably answer a lot of our questions, and it will probably have the lead up. Because I think people that led up to 9/11 led up into Vietnam, Desert Storm, different things.
Right.
So I'd definitely say JFK.
No, I agree 100%.
Man.
What's your would you
rather be C-3PO, or would you rather be Chewbacca?
C-3PO. R2-D2 and C-3PO are my I would turn this camera around and show you, but I collect memorabilia from the 80s and early 90s as well. But C-3PO and R2-D2 are my favorite 2 Star Wars characters. So,
are they?
Yeah, I try to collect as much. And I don't know why, they're just the most offset characters to me. They're not like the Darth Vader and the Luke Skywalkers and the Han Solos.
Well, speaking of Star Wars, the new trailer just released. Have you had a chance to see it yet?
I've not had a chance to see it. I'm not a trailer guy. I don't like watching trailers because I believe my mind works in an auspicious way where I will constantly think about what's going to happen in the movie, and I'm going to get, I'm going to feel like I've seen too much of the movie and it's going to ruin it for me. So I try to watch this little trailer or a little precursor to any type of movie before it comes out. Well, I'm more or less just going to go to the theater.
Well, let me change my question then. Would you rather? I mean, are you excited about seeing the movie?
100. I wouldn't say I'm a diehard fan of science fiction movies in general, but Star Wars has been. My dad is a huge nerd geek type of person, and his Star Wars, his preferred choice is Star Trek, but he always watched Star Wars as well. So growing up as a kid, I watched a lot of Star Wars, and then my dad had so much information on it when I was a kid. He was always talking about how they were going to make these other movies later in life. So I kind of had an idea of where the story was going. He always said that he wasn't unsure if George Lucas was going to be able to make the movies.
Right.
And he knew that they were going to make the next 3. He just didn't know about the 4 after that. The 4 after that came after he was sold to Disney, obviously. And I don't think he ever believed that he was really going to make them himself. I believe he wanted to outsource them as well.
Right.
Up to that point. So when the next three came around, that's when I really, and a lot of people don't like the movies, but I really truly became a fan because my whole, as a kid, it was my part of my childhood, and then I got to see where kind of Darth Vader came from, as Anakin Skywalker and grow up.
Right.
So it kind of, for me, it was brilliant. What about you? Are you excited to?
I'm excited to see it. I mean, there's good positives of Disney's version of Star Wars, and there's bad things. Like, I think they should have made it more modern. I mean, I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to backtrack and stuff, but we have this technology now where go ahead and use it. Don't try to go and try to use the older style themes. Make it jam packed. Like, make it like Transformers. I mean, we have this technology now. I think we should use it. But other than that, I mean, I like the two new characters. Ray, I can't remember the guy's name on top of my head right this second. But I think they're decent actors and actresses.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they do a good job. And I'm looking forward to it. But let's get into one or two more topics, and then we'll wrap up.
Yeah, I think the next topic we were going to talk about, or the next topic that we had before I didn't record the last episode, or this episode, the last take on this episode, was the JFK conspiracy. How do we believe that America perceives the JFK conspiracy now as opposed to as they believed it back in the day when it happened, November 3rd, 1963?
Well, I'm going to let you actually open that discussion, and then I'm going to wrap up the show.
All right, cool. So the way that I believe that America perceives the JFK conspiracy today is wide open. Just basically how you said just a few minutes ago, whenever you believed you'd rather find out the JFK conspiracy because it unlocks a lot of parallels to the today and how we live today, and how today could be a totally different society than it is if JFK would have never been assassinated in 1963. But how do we know if the society would have been better if his intentions were good or bad? I know that there's the regime that he had fell and a new regime took over. I believe that America took back over in 2016 when Donald Trump won. And I don't mean the world took back over. I mean that there's a lot of there was a regime change, and it was no longer the regime that took over and when Lyndon Baines Johnson became president, because I believe that was a negative part for American history, and I believe that we haven't gone anywhere. We haven't really progressed as human beings in the United States since that's happened. I believe that now recently everything's gonna come to a head now, and I believe that we're gonna grow as human beings more now than ever before. What about you?
I don't think Americans care anymore. I mean, I definitely think there's a lot of people that do want to know the answers, and they want to know what happened. Who really murdered him or not, it's pretty much irrelevant. I more ask questions like, why was he murdered?
So let me ask you. So if there was tomorrow the government had like a special report, do you think that video would be the highest rated video on YouTube if it was aired on YouTube?
No.
You don't think?
I think it could be one of the highest, but I don't think so.
Do you think it would trend number one on YouTube or Twitter?
No. I mean, it could probably be in the top 3 or 4, but I don't think so. Maybe if you count the whole world involved, maybe. Because you gotta remember, like, Hong Kong's rebelling right now and waving their flags and stuff, so a lot of people are watching America.
But things like WWE, the wrestling, trend number one. Like WWE pay-per-views trend number one on Twitter. So
do they? I never knew that.
Yeah, every time
I'm not a big Twitter person.
I'm not a Twitter person. I just whenever I see it, I watch a lot of news on YouTube, a lot of news stories, and they're always constantly. It'll be up in the corner of a highlight, and it'll say trending number one.
Oh wow!
And the reason that's why I'm asking. Do you think that it could? Yeah.
I'm more of a Facebook person. I started Instagram not too long ago and building that up.
I'm more of an Instagram person just because I like looking at pictures out of the Facebook. I don't have any friends.
Yeah, but
I have like 30 friends on Facebook, and they're all my real friends. I don't have any.
Instagram, you're on by Facebook. Get rid of all these ads or make it a different way like Facebook or something. Like, you guys are killing me.
That's funny. I was watching this thing about Mark Zuckerberg, or how it started out. It was like Mark Zuckerberg is a reptilian or whatever. So it started watching a little bit of it.
He's a reptilian?
And so it went through. It was just showing how he's real bland with his face structures. But one of the people in Congress or whatever, he's having they were talking about, all this, whatever he's in Congress for, whatever, and the guy asked him, he's like, where do you get all your money from, right? and clearly they get their money from ads, right? Or they get their money from people buying ad revenue on their sites. And the guy who was running it acted like they were stealing money, like, where are you getting money from? Like, how are you funding this? You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing to fund this? Are you getting it from people overseas or whatever? And it's, I'm not a huge fan of some of the things that Marcus Zuckerberg does as far as his freedom of speech. He owns a website, but he takes away a lot of people's freedoms of speeches, or a lot of times they'll close off websites, or you can't make certain comments on Facebook when realistically that's freedom of press. I should be able to write and say anything that I want, whether or not you agree with it or you're too sensitive to listen to it. So he is an American at the end of the day, and not only is he American, he's a very nerdy, like nerd type guy. So of course he's not gonna have that he's gonna have an awkward or social awkwardness, of course. But I don't believe that he's doing anything to hurt America. I think if anything, his concepts and his goals are to improve his lifestyle first and make himself like a god, and then bring everybody else, but represent America. And if he has to outsource, or if he has to go to China, of course he's going to make deals with China or Saudi Arabia to get his website there, because he's going to want to make millions and billions of more dollars. So I don't know if he's a negative influencer for any other, or America. I think he's a positive.
Well, to wrap up the show, guys, I want you to, in the comment section, bring up topics you want to discuss, or if there's anything that we brought up previously that you want us to go in more depth, or you want to combat whatever we're saying, drop in the comments. If you like it, give us a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give us a thumbs down. We're trying to improve. We're both human beings that want to add value to people and improve what we're talking about. And this is UNbrainwashing America. I'm Mac and Cheese 554.
I'm the Gorilla Clown. Hit us up.
Peace out. Bad news, we didn't record.